Yep.
Gotcha.
Appreciate you too, man.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
man. Okay, count it down. Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. Today we're talking the shooting at Tuskegee University. 5 things not to do when you're in the hood that you don't know anything about. Plus, we got the viral YouTuber himself, Tommy G, in the building. Yeah. So stick around, hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Welcome back. Oh, that was one of them LeContier countdowns. Okay.
So
All right. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's give it up for that. Yeah.
Doing numbers, baby.
I got my wonderful, lively co-host in the building. She's had her coffee and she is energized this morning. Give it up for Angelica Jelly Woods in the building. Yeah.
I got 6 hours of sleep last night. I'm full of energy, okay?
She sure is. And full of something else too, Kojak.
Whatever.
Hey, that's my DJ. He's my DJ. DJ Kojak in the building. Yeah, DJ Kojak. Hey, DJ Kojak. Scratch it up 4 times for our Midwestern guest. 4 times.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, not the hit. Wait a minute. Let's test.
That's for the G in his house.
That's for the G.
I'm nervous.
Hey, Tommy, did you hear that scratch?
Let's hear it again.
I like him.
DJ, bring that. Okay,
Yeah. Bring that beat back.
Bring that beat back.
Look at him.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see it. Let me test it again. Did you hear that scratch?
I think we're ready to remix this and get it ready to roll.
Oh, that was a political answer. He Kojak.
He BS'd you real
right,
quick.
but give it up for Tommy G in the building. Yeah. So look. Before we jump into this interview with Tommy G, of course, everybody's talking about the shooting that took place at Tuskegee University. Their 100th anniversary. Their 100th anniversary. How sickening. Nichelle, run that video real quick.
It's fucking crazy, bro. What the fuck?
Man, hey.
You can't go nowhere.
That's crazy.
That's
that is unreal though. I mean, and real at the same time.
Unfortunately.
You think about the significance of Tuskegee University, the history of Tuskegee University, and to have their 100th
On the anniversary.
ruined like this. I can't tell you how many gunshots it sounded like. I'm a Marine, so
Too many
I know what
rounds.
what a war zone sounds like, right?
definitely a war zone.
Yeah, and it's sad and unfortunate, man. Tommy G, you're in a little bit in that world in some sort of space, man. What do you think about that?
I don't know what the situation was. Was there a loose gunman? Was there a turf war? What was happening there?
Yeah, so they say it was members of YN that were in a gun battle with somebody else. And,
Is YN what I think it stands for?
I don't know.
think so.
I don't know
The
what
ra-
it stands for. To be honest with you, but it's a Alabama, Georgia gang.
Gang.
Yeah, and so but that's what they're saying allegedly, and the news reports. I think we got another video. Do we have another video on there, Nichelle, or not? Did we put both of them up? We didn't. Okay, and the news report saying they have arrested an individual that was responsible for the shootings. Had one person that was killed, and I think 16 others injured. But it sounded like well over 100 shots that were let off in that situation.
Did they arrest anyone?
They did. One person.
Okay, one person.
Jacquez, Myrick.
We should bring back backyard fights. I think that would help a lot of the situation.
People can't take L's.
But they're cowards, though, man. You can't. You're not gonna have cowards that want to fight because they ain't got no hands.
Yeah, and then they can't take getting their tail whooped no more. They can't. That's part of the
Because
problem.
even if they lose, they'll come back and shoot it up.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
usually that happens. Yeah, they can't do it.
But I ain't gonna even lie. At 14, man, I was being threatened to be jumped, and I was the shooter then. So so I know what that's like too.
That's
Not
still scary.
it was, and actually I was scared. That's why I was locked and loaded. Because I was outnumbered, by the.
Look at his face. Look at Tom G face. He looking like.
Yeah.
You gonna do
I'm a
what?
different kind of state representative.
He was
Tommy
getting
G,
ready to
so
shoot up a
You in
school.
with a different
You
person.
missed the
Yeah.
story.
I actually went to jail at the age of 14 because I was going to shoot the school up.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a gun.
You pulled some Columbine shit?
Yeah, he was
I
about
would
to
have
be
been first in
first.
Texas,
He would've been
actually.
first.
Port Arthur, Texas, home
That's
of the trail.
before
Yeah,
Columbine.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
PAT.
before he'd have been the record.
Yeah.
First.
I was gonna set it off, but but the reason was, I was being bullied. I wasn't a gang member though. I was just I was the individual that was being bullied, right? And so what I learned in Port Arthur, Texas, is that this is how you get the bullies off of you. You blow their asses off. So and then and then that's the end of that. And so I had in my mind had set. My mind to do what I learned to do. Well, was my norm back then, right? And it's sad that but it's sad that this situation like that happened in Tuskegee is becoming people's norms, right? And and that's kind of the space we're in, not in this country and in our communities. People are living with hearing this type of gunfire, in their communities, and and it's sad and unfortunate, but it's still to me unacceptable.
Yeah, and the world becomes desensitized. Like maybe like 10 years ago we saw this. We probably still be talking about it or whatever. I know people are, but just watching it doesn't have the same effect as it would 10 to 15 years ago. We're desensitized. It's become the norm, unfortunately. But you were saying you did it for defense. I'm sure in this case it had nothing to do with no defense or anything like that.
Well, it could have been.
Could
have been somebody else shooting at him. I don't know. We don't know what the full story is, but but it's still it doesn't
I think they said it was a fight
that broke out.
It was a fight first, and like G was saying, they came back on them.
Yeah. It is sad. But Tommy G, look, man. So, man, look, 2.4 million subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
A blind dog gets a bone every once in a while.
Man, that's a big ass bone, right? That's a Tyrannosaurus Rex bone there, man. But tell me, how did all of this get started? How did it even start? For you.
I've always been someone that wanted to explore the world and be curious. And so even before I started a YouTube channel, I was doing things like in college, I went to go live with a tribe in the jungle.
In the jungle?
Yeah. And I drank
What jungle?
spit.
Go back. You were past jungle.
Yeah, so I went to the edge of Peru, and I was with a little village where you got to fly in on a little plane. There's 14 huts. They drink this stuff called chicha, which is made out of river potato and spit, and that's their main drink. And they hunt with blowguns. They shoot armadillo, monkey, bird out of a tree. And I lived that life for a couple of weeks, and I was always fascinated coming up watching documentaries from places like Vice that you go in, it's this real, raw, authentic look to what's happening in the world. And I thought, I don't know if that ever could be me because I have no journalism background, I don't have the credentials. But right now we're living in this world where anyone could be the next journalist, the next content creator. Credentials have gone out the window. It's about who's willing to hustle, who's willing to get the story, and who can get that inside access that no one else can. And that's really what we've specialized in. Our breakout story was the Kia Boy story in Milwaukee.
I was going to ask you about that.
Really?
Yeah, the Kia Boys. Yeah.
And ever since that moment, we knew that the documentary world was our space, and we haven't been off the road since. We've been hustling. We've been building relationships and getting inside access that most crews cannot.
Did you ever, let me ask you, did you ever have a full-time job? And when did you know that I'm going to do this full-time? This is what I'm going to do.
So I was in the corporate world for the first 5.5 years out of college, and I hated it. I had a
What did you do, man?
So this is actually what, but the thing is, I'll give you a little background. I was in the payroll business. I worked for a company called Paychecks. And so basically, I grew up in like the whitest suburb you could possibly think of. And then in this job, I was assigned the hoodiest of the hood, like at 53206 in Milwaukee, where 6 out of 10 dudes walking around have been to the pen. So like it was a real deal zip code where it was just a totally different environment. But I worked that for 5 years, and I got to be comfortable. I got to get the lingo. I got to figure out what was going on.
You got some credibility.
Yes, but that was a job that at the time I thought it was a complete waste of time. But I wouldn't be doing what I am today without that experience. Eventually, I got another corporate job, and I got fired from it, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I was going to be married in 6 months, and my wife told me, hey, I'll give you 6 months. if you're not making X by this 6 months, then you have to go get a real job. But if you can make it either through real estate or YouTube or coaching wrestling, those are the 3 buckets I had, you know, then you can go for it. And so about month 4 of that, the Keyboy video came out, and I knew this was the path.
Wow.
And it took off very fast. I think it's still is it still one of the most viewed?
Yeah, it's like 7 million views right
It's
now.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like, and that shout out to the wife. I don't know your wife's name. I
Sweet
always
Cheeks.
say Sweet Cheeks. Okay, shout out to Sweet Cheeks. Okay, but I always big on saying that who you're connected to matters. Your spousal support matters. Your helpmate.
Huge.
You be quiet. Helpmate matters. So shout out to the wife for being supportive, because that's
She's
a
the
big
key to the empire.
Thank
100%.
you. Can you tell him that?
Without my wife, this
Thank
wouldn't
you.
be anywhere where it
Thank
is.
you,
Right,
wife.
well,
Thank
I
you.
greatly appreciate
There's some
it. I
haters.
greatly
There's some
appreciate it.
haters.
You
Thank
know,
you, wife. Thank you.
You know,
I
I'm glad.
acknowledge my wife. Yeah, like I don't. You know, she's my biggest supporter too.
You must be the
Yeah,
doghouse.
yeah,
Look,
it's
he
a plug.
He
coming
slided
for the-
in.
for Hip Hop Lounge.
She at the
in
Hip
just a
Hop
second.
Lounge right now,
Right.
making some vegan
She's
nuggets. Then you say
unthawing
he's
the
vegan.
chicken. Unthawing the chicken for the night.
So you know the Kia Boys and from there, you know, it just evolved and took off even further. Do you feel like you're in your purpose? You're enjoying this space that you're in, man?
I feel like I am what I'm here on earth to do in this chapter of my life. I am doing it right now.
That's
So I wake up
amazing.
and I'm very excited every single day. I'm excited to the different stories that we're covering, and I feel like we're on a mission, and I'm loving it. I'm grateful for it. I don't take it for granted for a minute that this is what I get to do. I feel like I have the best job in the world.
Yeah, you give me vibes. You're happy and everything. I have a question quick though. How old are you? I just need to know.
31.
31. Oh, yeah, that's the fact that you can say that at 31. A lot of people are 50, 60 and cannot say that they're living the purpose or even know the purpose. So that's amazing. So if you don't do anything else, you are living a fulfilled life and you exude that. So I can attest for that.
I guess
for
for
you.
all the people back home that feel like they're not quite there yet, living in the thing that they feel like is their mission, it's just keep chipping away. Even when I had a corporate job, I was building things in the off time.
Yeah.
I bought my first piece of real estate when I had that job. I was coaching wrestling on the side because I've wrestled since I was 10 years old. I wrestled through college, and that's important to me. So I filled my bucket in other ways, but there were times where I'd be in a parking lot staring at the steering wheel wondering, like, how am I ever going to get out of this? Like, I knew where I wanted to go. I felt like there was more in life to me, but I just didn't know how to get there. And then I wrote in a list called Ideas That Could Change My Life. Kia Boys was on that list.
Yeah.
I knocked some of those ideas out, and one of them did change my life, and here I
Wow.
am
that is
So when
amazing.
you put your vision on paper,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Wrote it down, made it
These
clear.
are lessons, man. Seriously,
Yeah.
I hope our
Yeah,
viewers
that's
are watching.
biblical.
You put your vision on paper, and Kia Boys was on that
That's so
paper.
funny.
today. Yes.
That is incredible, man. And how long ago was that?
2.5 years ago.
So 2.5 years, right? So you eating now. You eating off of your passion, basically.
Right,
now.
but it was never about money. I lost
Right.
money for 4 years on YouTube I was doing prank videos before. I lost money for 4 years doing it, and then all of a sudden I'm making more money than I ever had in my life, and I can't even believe it. But
That's incredible.
Had you just,
Yes.
if I just replaced my corporate income or even made a fraction of that, was able to
You'd be
pay my
happy.
rent, doing what I love, I would be doing it.
Right.
So, but it just so happens that when you do something you're passionate about, somehow the money comes with it.
Yep. Yes.
But
indeed.
I always have walked away from decisions that are just about the money. Like there's tons of money in sponsorships that we could have on this channel, like gambling or online
Yep.
casino
They
companies.
give good big money.
Big backs.
Gamblers do.
I've
They're
turned
gambling
just
things.
recently. I turned down
Oh, I know.
an absurd amount of money because it's like you can't just sell out for the money. You have to have things that are aligned with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we have the long-term vision. So we think we have some of the best relationships on the planet when it comes, especially to the underworld, but now to the other side of the coin. Like I just did a video with a billionaire. I just did a video with a Navy SEAL. We want to be the most trusted independent journalism platform in the country. I feel like we're getting there, and I feel like we have work to do, but we will be there.
Okay, I have a
ahead.
question though for you, because even when you're going back to this vision and what you wanted to do, now, when he came in here, he didn't come along. He did come like 3 deep. Okay, so a lot of times, the support is not there. Everybody is not supposed to see the vision or even go along with the vision. So the people you rode in here with, were they day ones, or did they come part of the journey? Were they supporters, or did you lose some people along the way? Because I think that's really big and key in this your journey. I think
They've been here since day one of the documentary journey.
that's
And
good.
these guys have, like, they hustle their absolute cojones off. Like, especially, I mean, Keegan, Miguel, they're behind, they're the secret sauce. If we didn't have them, the channel is a fraction of what it is. So we have guys that we're willing to go long days, long nights. We're putting in the work, and we're doing things the right way. And so building the right team is key to the empire.
Right.
good.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to this. You hit I think a very, very key point, and you talk about timing. trusted journalism. Trusted journalism. So, we know that journalism is in the shit under the liquid in the trash can.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
and I'm talking about the
terrible.
dumpster
Yeah.
in the
Terrible.
alley of Skid Row.
Yes.
Right. And so
Yeah.
so we know that you can't turn on a television or a major network and not get a skewed account of what's going on. Man, so you're hitting a space to me that is incredibly valid and necessary in today's time because people are looking for just the uncut truth.
We know we have been lied to for decades by mainstream media.
Yep.
And so that opened up a huge gap for us to come through. I'm not the smartest, I'm not the best, but I do have a genuine interest in trying to tell the truth. I do have a genuine interest in asking the best questions and figuring out what the heck is going on with whoever I'm interviewing. And people can feel that. And so it's fun. Like we're running laps around. Like if you look at CNN's YouTube channel, I cover Kensington, Philadelphia. They cover Kensington, Philadelphia. And their piece, they targeted me and another friend of mine who also covered that place, saying that we're using people, we're exploiting people, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
Then they copied the exact same story we do, but in a worse way. I'm at like 6 million views. They're at like 50,000 views. So it's the audience can feel it. The audience knows. And we're happy to be leading the charge of great independent journalism.
And so you said CNN targeted you in their story to discredit you?
Yeah, and the thing is, they don't like that we're getting better access and better stories to these people. For example, on the Kia Boy video, I had a journalist call me up within a day of it being released and saying, "You did a great job. It's a fascinating story. Let me interview you." Then the first question is, "Hey, I saw you laughing with the Kia Boys. What do you say to the victims and families that have died from this?"
Oh, wow.
And then they had some like stolen car advocate, like nerd pop up and be on the other side. It just was like they had their story written before they ever talked to me, and they had an agenda.
Yep.
So I don't have a boss telling me what to do. I'm not left wing. I'm not right wing. I'm just trying to search for the truth and also understand human nature. What makes a fentanyl dealer a fentanyl dealer? What makes a billionaire that? And what drives them? And what can we learn? What's the greater picture from all
Yeah,
that?
because you just don't wake up that way. Everybody that you interviewed didn't wake up and say they wanted to be a gang member. They wanted to sell dope. There were decisions or life helped them lead there. And I think, like you said, people don't tap into it and even cover that. They just want to point the finger and make a negative perception around it. But that's big. And the biggest thing we always say, you're being authentic. So that's what's making it stand out. You're being authentic and sharing that story. So that's awesome. So
That is incredible. And what I'm taking away from this first segment is that you're digging in. You're asking the why. Why are we here?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? How did we get here?
Yeah.
And that's in being in the legislature, that's what a lot of my colleagues miss. As they're crafting laws and legislation and jail time and prison and that policy, they miss the why these individuals are even in the situation that they're in. And so I applaud you on that. And so, but you, Wisconsin, right? Okay. So you know a little bit about Spotted Cow then, right?
Yeah.
Man, best beer in the country, man. I got to give it to him.
Wow.
So look, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. 30 seconds.
Okay, Tommy.
Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Give it up for that shit.
You're going to have to
One
change
more
that
time.
soon. You got to change it soon.
We're going to have to change it soon. Look, give it up for my lovely, lovely co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods.
Thank you.
In the building.
So do I got to be like
Can we
Tommy
clap
G?
for you first?
Yeah, but can I be
Okay.
like him if we're going to write it down and say we're going to have to change it? Do we need to write it down, Tommy G, that we're going to change
Write the
this?
vision. Write the vision. You
We're
know,
gonna
this
take
vision
the-
was
It's
written.
writing it down, but it's also the action.
Action
Because
on
there's a
it.
lot of people that
Execute
are
it.
like, "Oh, I'm just gonna manifest
Right.
$1 billion."
Oh, no.
Right, no.
No.
You
execute
gotta
that.
get out
You
and
gotta
hustle and
execute.
put boots on the ground. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They don't wanna
Yeah,
do that.
absolutely. Yeah, give it up for my DJ. That's my DJ Kojak in the
Man.
building.
Okay,
yeah.
DJ.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
DJ Kojak. Hit the horns for Tommy G.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yep. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? You heard
Loud
it?
and clear, loud and clear.
Tommy G in the
The
building.
recorded version.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been around black people too much. You didn't hear lying. Yeah, I heard it. I heard it. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
lying.
I'm just
Angelica, you're the only one that didn't hear it. I don't know, man.
I never. I'm like, no.
She's the only one. April, did you hear
going
it?
on?
Did you hear the
Hey,
horn?
bro,
April
don't you
heard
do
it. She heard
it.
the
The
horn.
Lord watching you.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. Geez, golly, boy, it's always look.
It's
When
always
three or
one.
more people are gathered. There's always one
now
hater
you
in the
want to be
midst.
five with a day.
There's always a hater in the midst. Book sick. Hey, but look, let me, Tommy G, you're in Memphis, right? Is this your first time to Memphis?
First time in Memphis.
Oh man,
First
give it up for
time?
that. Give it up for that. Yeah. Welcome to the city, baby.
Hold on, it's your first time in Memphis.
Yeah, and then he is in the capital of Memphis, 38128. We love it, man. Welcome to the capital.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, we're happy to have you. So why are you here? Tell us why you're here.
I'm covering 3 different stories.
Okay.
One is going on an undercover raid with SWAT team to see what a day in their life looks like.
Okay.
One is covering the most dangerous city in America, which you guys passed St. Louis. Before it was St.Louis. We've been there the last 2 years, but now you guys are number 1. So
I'm not
Okay,
gonna clap for
We
that.
ain't clapping for that, but we're gonna unpass St. Louis and New Orleans
Yeah, we
and
going
these
the
other
other
folks.
way. We
Yeah,
going the
and so where did that ranking come from? Who put that ranking?
I think
up
it's by murders.
there? Okay, per capita,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Per capita.
right,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
mhm.
yeah, okay. And so you're the undercover SWAT, and what's the other?
I'm going to be meeting up with a group that's, I'll just say for the purpose of radio, they're big into growth and development. We're going to be in a big
I understand.
group,
Uh,
and we're going to dive into their life.
I understand. Okay, that's the second one, or did you do all 3 already? Say all
No,
3.
so we've only done one,
Okay.
and by Saturday, we'll probably be locking and loading out back home to Milwaukee.
Okay. And we're gonna get a chance to talk to you too. We're gonna chat.
I hope to walk the streets with you.
I'll walk the streets with you. I'll do that.
Oh,
I'll
you
walk
really
the
gonna
streets.
get some bullets flew in there? You watch these. I'm a drunk
Easy
Parkinson.
now. Be nice.
So
Be
we have
nice.
to do a recap though, because I wanted to know. One of my questions I wanted to know was how we stacked up. Well, you kind of already answered, but I want to know in comparison. So I don't know if you got to come back then. If we said to come back to all the other hoods, since we the capital for murders, how Memphis stacks
I haven't
up.
been to the trenches yet. I'm going today
Oh, I
and
can't-
tomorrow
So you want to go
and
North
the next
Memphis?
day.
North Memphis.
I'm going to be all over. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly. These guys are going to send me the location. I show up, but
What would
I
it
can't
be?
say yet how it compares.
It's
Yeah.
like Benham. Is it not Benhampton?
Oh, you about to jack it up, big.
Yeah, I'm not
Please
from here.
don't
They
do
What are
talk
the
about
worst
Don't do
parts
that.
of Memphis?
Please don't do that.
Yeah, in
You
the
know,
north,
so,
it's some
look,
part of North
it's
Memphis. They gonna
my
get me
hood.
because I don't
Right,
know.
right.
North
Don't do
Memphis, North Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Not
well,
the
so
pockets.
so some of the places that we might take you to, we might push you in and stay back while you go on in.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
I'm
got
just
that
kidding,
right.
man.
I
I'm
got
I'm
one. I
just
got one
kidding, man.
around
I'm
the
just
corner.
kidding.
I can push you
I'm just
into.
kidding.
What
But
God
so,
lives.
speaking of
Rich
which,
Chris,
let's talk about things that you don't do
Oh Lord.
when you
yeah,
go
and
into these communities.
Mhm.
Like, give us 5 things that you do not do when you go into a hood that you are not familiar with.
Mine is turn your blinkers. Like if somebody has their blinkers off, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna flash you. Turn them on. Period.
You're
I
talking
don't
about
care.
their blinkers? Or your lights?
Yes, the lights. If your
Okay.
lights are off, I'm not going to tell you to turn them on because they said that's. I could be wrong. Tommy, you should know. It's
How
a
should
gang.
Tommy know? How you know?
Because
Tommy
he
know?
said
I'm
he
just
studied the
kidding. I'm
games,
just kidding. I'm
whatever.
just
I guess
kidding.
they said it's
Yeah.
like a gang initiation. Like if you flash, they trail you and do something to you. That's how you get. I could be wrong. I'm from. They talking about me right now.
Right, Polly Pierhart.
One
over
thing
here.
Probably
I don't
pour her.
do
Uh-huh.
is if I see someone throw their fast food bag out the window, like part of me wants to like honk or say something like
Oh,
pick it
hell
up,
no.
but
Mhm.
I'm not ready to get popped yet.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
avoid
Listen,
that.
in Memphis,
Yeah.
don't blow your horn. Don't rush nobody. We got bad road rage here.
Yeah, we do. But
I-
now if I see somebody
Road
throw
rage,
their
crazy.
trash out on Austin P, man, I'm blowing my. I'm pulling up next to him. Hey man, why you pick that shit up?
Ooh, these
Right.
We're gonna have to see this on camera.
Yeah. Seriously, I pull up because I can't stand them throwing
Yeah.
trash out. In our community, man.
That's one thing that blows
but-
my mind. When I go around the country and I see the
Yeah.
trenches, like things are already bad. There's
Yeah.
trash cans everywhere. Why
Right.
are we throwing this every
Yeah.
place we go?
Oh,
Yeah.
baby,
What-
you gonna see them.
Well, what's another thing, Kojak? What's another thing you don't do when you go
Well,
into a hood that you're
well,
not familiar with?
Well, you don't hide side, so you take your chain, and like when Debo came back, you
You
might
tuck
want to
it.
tuck your chain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my
Yeah,
dad
you
said
know.
flip your jewelry. He said when you
Mhm.
walk
May
in, he
wanna-
from the
yeah.
west side. He said flip
I
your
mean, if you're
jewelry.
not from this neighborhood, you don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
At least you know.
Yeah.
Look at
Try to
Parkinson.
find out what's going on. At
That's
first.
not you, Parkinson.
Yeah, what to tuck your
Turn-
jewelry?
yeah.
Shit, don't wear your jewelry.
Yeah.
Don't even.
I mean, if
wear
you
it.
got it on you, don't even
Right.
wear it.
Yeah, don't even wear it. But that's a common sense deal, right? Even if you go into the Caribbean and places
Oh,
like that,
definitely,
you
please.
should- I say one of the things you do is shit. You come in humble. This is
Yeah.
not your neighborhood. This is not your
Yeah,
community.
Yeah.
Don't come in like you own the place, like you run the place, like you Billy Badass. you know, in these neighborhoods, you know, and I always say, you know, there's always somebody better,
Yeah.
you know, than you, you know, I believe in, you know, you go in, you know, you be kind and you treat people with respect, you know,
What about colors? I said certain colors you just don't. You gotta be conscious of. You don't. You go to a certain neighborhood, you just don't, or wear your hat to a certain type of way because you can be repping something you don't know you repping.
Since we talking about this,
Uh-oh.
let me ask you a question, Tommy. Has there ever been a neighborhood you went to and you had a problem? Like they really tried to get on your ass, like
Never.
you got scared and you was like, okay, never.
The thing is, I don't go places I'm not invited. People want me to come. They know I'm coming. They know I'm showing up. What I get most worried about is because I don't ask people about beef. I don't stir things up. I don't try and know. But I walk in blind a lot of times. So I don't know what happened last night that maybe I should know about. And it's really the passing cars. I can judge by their body language. I might be in a squad of 20, all got sticks out, but if every car that passes by, they're kind of like, I'm like, okay, maybe this is a shorter shoot than I thought.
Right.
You know,
I thought on one of the episodes, you know, did they actually get the shooting out there when you was there?
there was. You might be referring to the Latin
one of-
King one.
yeah,
where
I believe that
we
was
were
one.
there,
Yeah.
and they
Wait
were
a minute,
like,
hold that thought. I think we got a little video. Michelle, run
You
that
got a
video. Hold that thought. And don't.
I supposed to talking about they from be out here, you know what I'm saying?
wait, at 8 o'clock tonight? Yeah. 7:30. They made a threat at a specific time that 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy G. I'm in the hood, the Latin King of Chicago.
Block blocks, got drop. Now they see like niggas turn rats when they get locked up in the box. I don't even like.
At what age did you lose some people?
12 years old.
I'm from 25th, nigga.
Freedom Boulevard, 24th Street, 221 killer. Shorty beat, nigga.
Yeah, I'm like your favorite team. You catch me on TV, talking about on MC. You could catch me on the scene. I'm posted with the team. You asking, I got the drop.
Side on the track.
Yeah.
I think he has potential as a rapper for sure.
Okay.
We may not have rights to the song.
Yeah, we
though,
might have to
see.
clip. We might have to run that a little shorter, you know. Than
Cut it
yeah,
off.
look, I need my credits on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but actually it's banging actually. Yeah. But so tell us about that, man.
So it was Mexican Independence Day, and earlier that day, someone had a machete and knife fight between two rival gangs. And so we were even debating whether to go there. Like we sat in a gas station parking lot about 40 minutes outside of the city, just debating, should we go, should we not go? And so we eventually went because they told us there's going to be so many of us on the block that's impossible to spin it because they're going to get theirs if they try. So I'm like, okay, the math seems, like it adds up. So we're going to go there and take our chances. And then they're like, oh yeah, they're going to come by at 8 o'clock. And they were excited. I'm like, how are you guys excited about this? So I knew, like, we probably had 15 minutes left on the clock before I rounded up the boys and said, we got to get out of here. And so we only got to spend a short amount of time with these guys. Yeah. We're actually launching a piece in 2 weeks where we went more in depth with these guys. We had our guy Corrupt, Savage, and Homicide, and we went to 3 different sets and got to spend more time with them and really see what they're about. And I guess what blows my mind, and if you like take this extrapolate it to the whole country, is there are these neighborhoods where like 80% of the young men go down the street path. And like Little Village in Chicago, this beef has been happening since the 1990s, probably even earlier.
Generational.
So their dad did it, their uncle. So like it's almost it's almost impossible for them not to choose the streets in that situation.
You know, and you know, I grew up in LA. You know, and sometimes you don't even necessarily have to formally be in these gangs, right?
Yeah.
It's where you're from, you know, and you're automatically drafted,
Yeah.
you know, into what was long before you, you know, even came into existence, you know, because these are some generational things. You remember when we had 8Ball and MJG on the show, right? And we were talking about the Young Dolph and Yo Gotti situation, and they were saying that it's going to take another generation of people to undo this, right? Because there's so many people that have been hurt or harmed, you know, in this whole thing that's going on, and so it's gonna be hard to put the horse back into the gate, you know, because so much damage has been done.
It's hard to see your way out. And the point that these guys will bring up is like, imagine if it was your brother, your dad, your friend, like, wouldn't you want to do something about it? And so as an outsider, it's like, oh man, can't you guys just have peace? Like, it's crazy that a guy 2 factions a block away, then another block away, that you guys are beefing, because it must make life very uncomfortable and stressful. But I do get their point. Like, if someone killed someone I really love, like, I'd probably want to do something about it too. So how do you undo the cycle? I think if the Migos could start rapping about books and real estate investing and loving one woman and staying with her for life, I feel like if it got into pop culture, that doing the right things in the long-term plays was cool. But right now, that's the opposite. I mean, if you listen to the radio, it's murder music every single song.
But Young Thug might be the person, part of his deal. He can't rap about nothing that's bad. He has to rap about positive things. Y'all don't know that? Y'all looked at him like I didn't know that. Kojak, you knew that?
But
that's probably never gonna happen.
Right,
but Young Thug, they say he can't. That is big. They say Young Thug cannot rap about any of those things. That's it. So maybe he can make it. I don't know, nice and hip or whatever.
But I think what we're missing though also is the amount of investment that's poured into this culture being sustained. Because we talked about this on the show how. These record labels in turn are pumping it on radio, right? And we produce music here. We're music producers, rap producers too, right? But the amount of money that's being invested in the culture of kill, murder is crazy, right? And you think let one of these rappers say something negative about a Jewish person, or talk about kicking a dog, or talk about somebody that's LGBTQ. They'll strip those budgets away from them so fast, man. You think, man, God threw the angel back down from heaven again.
But you can blow up a whole block,
right,
and get more money
and make it sound cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and to be honest, I kind of when you're going to the gym, I'm not listening to the community service album where it's I helped a grandma across the street. No, it's you're listening to the switch music because that's what gets you going. So, there is a certain energy that music gives that if you use it in the right way can be positive, but then there's people that are listening to it from a really young age, and then there are areas where it actually goes down and it's just like a software program that you need to rewrite.
But Tommy, do you have dabbled in music, correct? All right, see.
Okay,
Y'all
okay.
They didn't know.
Homework.
See, I dropped that
So
little
you got-
nugget
what
in
you
there.
got- what you got,
research?
bars?
Yeah,
You got bars?
I used to. So back in the day,
Thank you.
I used to drive around the car and burn cruise a lot, and I used to freestyle an awful lot. But it's a skill that if you don't use, you lose. So I have to get back in.
Come on, man, you got something, man. Give us
Oh,
give us eight, man. Give us eight,
Lord,
man.
Tom,
Come on,
Tom,
Tom,
set
some
you up.
bars.
I'm looking at your friend.
If I'm gonna
looking
give a
at your friends in the
freestyle,
corner.
it's gotta be something that's legit. And right now, I'm just gonna be honest. What I got is all whack. So I gotta
okay.
next time I come to Memphis, I'll tighten my game up and maybe have some.
Okay,
ready
yeah,
for
That
come
means
on,
you
we're
gonna
gonna
come
bring you
back.
in the studio. We got a studio right down the hall, man. We're gonna bring you in the studio.
I looked
man.
at
Drop
the
some heat.
I looked at the friends' faces, and they were looking like, "Oh Lord, don't do it, don't do it." I said,
Yeah,
"Look."
man.
I've been out of the business for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That means you got to come back and do it. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I dabbled myself. But
Oh,
now-
here we go.
Okay,
here
8
we
bars.
go.
Let's go.
Yeah,
8
yeah,
bars
yeah.
right now. Let's go.
Well, no, actually I've changed. So I'm doing. I heard you talk about real
Lord.
estate. That's our real estate company. here.
Triple B,
Right.
huh?
Yeah,
Right.
Braden.
I'm about
Real
to
estate.
get what?
That's what we do. We do commercial though. So yeah.
Yeah, okay,
If you ever
okay,
look
yeah.
for some property here.
Yeah,
you know,
cutting room floor, but yeah, man. But look. Let me ask you this: so when you go into these communities, right? How did you have you ever been questioned about where you're coming from, or are you the feds, or is this a setup?
We've built a good enough portfolio of catching absolutely wild things on camera that our reputation is great. The other thing, this is kind of one of the secret sauces of the channel, is if I'm going to interview a fentanyl dealer in his apartment or whatever, I'll send him a clip before it goes live. Like, hey, did we do your voice the right way?
Oh,
Did
that's
we?
good.
Oh, so you had a
Okay,
little
yeah.
wrist tattoo. We blurred it for that's
Oh,
timestamp.
yeah.
So it's important for us to protect our context because some people might say why are you going out of your way to protect these guys? We want to get into their psychology. We want to get into their life. So to me, trust is the biggest currency we have on the channel. And I don't care whether you're a presidential candidate. Like we were with RFK Jr. for 48 hours. And, we want to take care of him. And if I'm with a pimp, I'm going to take care of him too. So I don't care who you are. Our job is to do right by you. We're not here to burn
awesome.
you because we want to build the best relationships in the business. And when you get into the underworld too, it's crazy how many people know each other where, the car thief knows the Canes, knows the train heist guys. And so if you're good with them, you can get into a lot of different nooks and crannies,
Yeah, let me ask you this last question. So when you do these interviews, how do law enforcement respond to you? But don't answer that question. We'll get that answer when we come back. You're watching the
Cliffhanger.
Antonio Parkinson Project. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market.
Believe that.
I got my lovely co-host on her phone over here, Angelica Jelly Wood. She's in the
I wanted
building.
my nephew to see him. He loves Tommy G. Hey y'all.
Right.
Being an auntie.
Right. DJ Kojak in the building. DJ Kojak,
Bam,
we're going to
we are
dispense
here.
with the scratch because we want to get in
Yes,
some more Tommy G in the building. Let's give it up for Tommy G, though. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Tommy G on the Antonio
More numbers.
Parkinson Project.
Yes.
I love it.
You have a genuine soul. Sorry, you really
Yeah.
are. Yes.
Well, thank you for that.
Look at him.
Angelica's she's gonna deliver the niceties. So that's
Yeah,
she
no,
is.
I can deliver
Yeah.
ugly too.
It
Yours
warms
is-
my bones a little bit. It feels good.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
if you-
yeah,
if
yeah.
you had
need
an ugly
that
soul, I would
it's
tell
gonna
you
be-
didn't say nothing.
because we ain't gonna do all that shit. Me and Kojak, we'll
Yeah.
be like, man, Tommy G, man, okay.
No, if you had an ugly soul, if you had an ugly
We met
soul
with
or
Tommy
something
G.
wrong with you, I would tell you too. But you do have a genuine soul. Period. So
You gonna get a sermon in just a second. She's
You
a
will.
preacher's kid. So
you will get a sermon if you need one. I will.
AKA
That's what I'm
Polly
supposed to
Pureheart.
do.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate you. We love Angelica though. That's our people. So we did ask a question. We do
Big
want to
one.
know. You know, you go into these places. You know, these are places that law enforcement in some cases can't even get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then you drop these videos, and law enforcement probably like shit. Damn. Well, look, we can use this information, right? So have you ever been approached by law enforcement to say, hey, give up the goods? What can we
Turn some evidence.
So I've been approached by law enforcement twice. One of them was after I made the Kia Boy video. Apparently,
Oh,
someone was
yeah.
making threats on me on the internet, and they asked me if I wanted to pursue it, and I said no. The second time, though, I had two detectives come up, and they came up to my porch with a folder. I'm like, oh god, this is not good. But then I told them like, look, guys, I'm sure you know, like I have a Second Amendment right. No,
Okay.
First Amendment right. Sorry, I gotta get
Yeah.
that straight. But to free speech,
Yeah.
and I'm a journalist.
Right.
So they closed their folder. They said, okay, we know you're not gonna talk to us, but we just want to know one thing. These Kia boys, do you feel like they have any true remorse for what they do? And I had to think about it, and I'm like, honestly, not yet. I mean, I think when they get older, they will. But these guys that I was talking to, no. Actually, I was visited one more time by Secret Service because I was with these rednecks in
Wow.
Tennessee, on the other side of Tennessee.
Of course.
And I was with a bunch of guns, and I said, Joe Biden, you want to come and take our guns? I was just getting into the character, you know? So they asked me, like, what exactly did you mean by that? And they asked me if I was mentally ill or if I had a firearm or blah, 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 blah. And then they
Oh,
took their
wow.
notes and walked away.
Well, you know, interesting thing about Tennessee is two interesting things. One, if you did have a firearm, it's completely legal
That's
for you to
what I
have
said.
one. Number two, Tennessee has more hate groups in this state than any other state in the union.
Can you introduce me to any of them?
I can
Oh,
throw
yeah.
a rock and hit
You
one.
got any Klan friends or what?
I'm sure I
He
do.
got
Yeah,
some. He
actually-
got some of
actually
his
I do.
friends. He got in
Actually-
his phone. He got two.
Yeah, actually I do. So, you
I
know,
would love to interview the KKK. That
Right.
would be a bucket list opportunity. So
Right. Oh, yeah.
any Klansmen that happen to listen to this show, which I highly doubt,
Right.
Oh,
hit
no.
your boy up, okay?
Go on his
yeah.
Twitter. Go on his Twitter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they. You know,
And they're
yeah.
on there. You can find you some from the
Yeah.
post.
Oh yeah. They. If you go on my Twitter,
can
man,
find
you
a
know,
lot of them.
they all over there, man. A lot of Elvis fans
Oh,
are
don't get you.
are part of these groups too. You know, believe it or not. I said something. You know, Black Lives Matter had spray painted on Elvis's wall, BLM,
didn't
and
know
I
that.
said, and they were all up in arms. I cannot believe this, that, and other. I said, well, wait a minute. I said, don't people write on Elvis's wall every day when
Yeah,
they
they
visit?
do.
They
They
write
do.
notes to Elvis, this, that, and other, right? I said, so what we mad about? So tell the truth what you're mad about. You're not mad about them writing on the wall. You're mad about what they wrote on the wall,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Oh, man, you should see. Oh, boy, they came out the woodworks on me, man. Boy,
can't
I
talk
was
about
every.
What they
I was-
write?
they wrote BLM on
Man,
the wall.
that group has gone downhill, huh?
Oh, that's a whole different.
Oh, Lord, you about to make a turn. You about to make a
Hey,
turn.
but that's the truth, though. That's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah, where they
The
go.
leaders had a chance to harness a real political movement, and instead they went greedy. And so I think they're a good case study to build something grassroots. Is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And they
And that was
totally fell asleep at the wheel and
Yeah,
just
where have they
enriched
been?
themselves.
Man, that's.
Interviewing that lady would be a good idea. I think I would love to
I
ask
don't know.
her.
Parkinson might can find it for you. Look.
Hey, man, I can help you find some of these folks.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
he could help you find them.
Seriously, I had a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, who was who was a state senator, and he was an older gentleman, right, from East Tennessee, and he was looking for a phone number in his phone for me, right, and I love this guy, believe it or not. You know, we differ completely on policy in most cases. In a lot of cases, we agree, right? But he was scrolling through his phone. He's doing that old man scroll, you know, where you scroll.
You can see everything that comes up.
Yeah, but you
it's
know,
on
you hit the
Zoom.
scroll, he got to wait for it to stop before he hits it again. Right? And he scrolled, and that joker stopped on David Duke, man. I was like, well, damn, okay, David Duke, David damn Duke. All right, yeah, but you know, but hey, you know, here's what people don't realize, you know. there's a connection with every human where you have something in common.
Yeah.
Right. But all of the outer bands, right, may not be what you have in common, but every single one of us, I don't give a damn if you're a Klans member or you a Patriot or you a GD or you Grape Street, right? There's a common bond in your humanity where you guys are exactly the same, and you probably experienced the same shit, but you went different directions after those experiences.
I feel like the majority of people, if you could get them one-on-one, sitting down for a nice meal and a conversation, they would probably like each other.
I agree with that.
Can you make that happen?
That would be something.
Boy, that'd be nice. You want viral, boy.
One thing I would be. This is another bucket list idea. I would love to. If there's two gangs that want to make a peace treaty, I would love to sit down and talk to them and help bring in the people that could orchestrate it and make it happen. Because I think more peace would be a really cool thing to see.
Is that here in Memphis?
I don't have any leads on that right now.
Okay.
Every group I asked is like, nah, it's never gonna happen.
You know, it's interesting because if you really, really go back to the origins of the gangs,
they're good,
right?
They're
if you
good.
go back to the origins of, I lived in Nickerson Gardens in Watts, right? That's where the Heck game came from, right? From Brims, the Brims, right? And but they were there to protect the people of Nickerson Gardens because of police brutality. Right, and then it eventually became Bloods, and then and so on and so forth. But
they used to be more community oriented.
They were.
It was solely community oriented in their starts, even in Chicago with the Chicago gangs.
Can I say something too? Shut up, Parks. Don't say nothing smart. I know one of the kings of the vice lords. I know. Don't judge me, y'all. Look at Parkin's face. Look his eyes.
Right.
And
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, what's crazy? He here right now. That's crazy. But anyways, I'm stay focused. But he was just saying, like, when gangs started or whatever, they had scholarships. They do scholarships, food drives, take to the community. And, like, even his mindset, when I talked to him on the phone, he's, like, really focused on, like, a lot of people they have charges. He's like, well, how can they get their apprenticeship? Like, I'm trying to help some people get their apprenticeship or get their GED. Because he's like, I'm trying to teach them beyond this. What's going to happen if you die in these streets? What's going to happen to your kids? Because they don't get they're not paying into the system. They don't get a social security check. Right. You have life insurance. So I was like, they don't even talk about this type of stuff. It's always negative. Yes, I know gangs are not good, but just thinking about that or bringing light to that, because everybody's not bad, if that makes sense.
I've interviewed all sorts of people, from murderers to fentanyl dealers to you name it. And I haven't met one person yet on this journey that I would say is an evil person.
Yeah.
I would say I've met people that are doing bad things, but there's people that have done hits that if I didn't know that, I would invite them to my house. My friends would like them, and we could have a good time. So it doesn't excuse the behavior, but I also think, like, when you see the recipe of what their childhood was like and how things are going, you start to get it a little bit more. But obviously, people like that, you got to keep it at arm's length because it's just risky having them know where you live.
Yeah. Speaking of risk, this is risky. And you are risking your life. Have you ever felt like there was a moment where your life was truly, truly in danger?
We were in Piedras Negras, Mexico, across the border from Eagle Pass, which is one of the premier places of border crossing. And we were interviewing a guy named Hostage, who before said, I don't know if I should do this the night before. I'm wanted. And we're like, by the cartel or the government? He's like, by the government. And so we're like, okay, we're going to get in there. We're going to go in the morning. We're going to get out. We interview him. It's going well. I go to the bathroom. As soon as I come out of the bathroom, bam, piso la verga. Get your on the ground. We got stormed by 3 Mexican police wearing face masks and guns, and we had to go down on the ground on gunpoint, and they searched the house. I think they thought we were picking up a significant quantity of narcotics, which we weren't. So once they searched the house, they thought that it was empty. We were allowed back to our feet, but in that situation, you don't know, like, sometimes the police, we want to talk about police brutality in America. Mexicans will laugh at us because it's way different down there.
Yeah.
You got to bribe your way out of situations. They would literally take you to an ATM and make you take out a certain amount of money. And so I don't know, are these guys cartel? Are they police? Who are they? Are we going to go we're going to disappear? But thankfully we were led back to our feet and able to continue on with the story.
Okay, but what does your wife say about these situations? When you came home, did she say, no, you can't go next time?
Sweet Cheeks has probably got...
I love Sweet Cheeks.
She's got ice water in her veins. I feel like she's more cool than I am with these things. I get more scared than she does. She is. She lets me chase my path, and she encourages me.
Yeah, got you, man. Speaking of Sweet Cheeks, Angelica, what you got on these women?
They gonna they want me to do the scandalous stuff on women. That's so sad.
We didn't say do scandalous. We just said ask.
Okay, so you didn't always know Sweet Cheeks, of course. You didn't always know. Don't look at. Don't confirm.
I just
don't
need
confirm
eye
or deny-
contact
Don't
with
confirm
Nichelle
or deny
because-
him.
Right. Thank you, Nichelle.
Okay, I didn't always know sweet cheeks, or even when you're in the streets, right? Have you ever? Do you think there's any gang members or fentanyl distributors, whatever, that's more ruthless than men? Do you think we got more oomph or tougher? I feel like tougher.
Who is we? Who are you talking
Women.
about? Oh,
I
okay.
haven't met that many female criminals, to be honest. I'm trying to think if there's
really?
someone that really
See, I told you
stands
we're
out.
good.
We pretty much, when it comes to people doing the worst, it's always been men.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not about right.
But have you run into any female like gang members or those that are in it?
They're loosely affiliated. Like you might be dating a Latin king, but you're not really in the streets like that. I mean, there might be occasional that we haven't really noticed, but for the most part, it's always been men.
Okay.
You
Gotcha.
should study
Well, let me
you should
ask
study
you-
a women gang. That'd be different.
You know what? Mellow Bucks out in Chicago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Drench Gang.
Chicago.
I mean, they turn up. They were twerking on every surface of land you could find. They're on a car. They're on the concrete. That was an episode that if I was
Chicago.
single, that would have gone a lot longer. But
Cut it short, sweet cheeks.
yeah,
But Kojak, hold your question for 1 second, Kojak, before, and don't forget what you was about to ask. But speaking of Chicago, have you been on O Block and talked to any of them folks?
I think O Block is overrated as far as the danger aspect. It's it's a gated community. So I'm not saying stuff doesn't go down. I'm not saying it's not very dangerous, but you have to give your ID to a security card. You got let in through a gate. They have their own private security force. So I felt very safe when I was in O Block, although I've never been there at 3 a.m. in the height of the King Vong era, you know. So I don't know. I can't speak on that.
Yeah. Kojak, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
Well, you know, earlier I asked a question about Chicago, the females, but I also want to know what's your dream guess. If you could, what one guess would you love to have? I heard you say KKK earlier, but what when it comes to our community, what guess like a Big Meech or something like that? Which guess would you
When it
like?
comes to Memphis,
Not just Memphis, just
Anywhere.
um,
Who's your dream
Yeah,
interview?
You just like,
Right.
I would say going on a child trafficking mission with operators overseas. I think that
Oh,
would be a
wow.
dream mission.
Wow.
I think Mark Zuckerberg would be a dream day in the life. I think, is there one that comes to mind, guys, that we talk about a lot? Joe Rogan would be very interesting. But let's say like also like on the danger side, like the people that do train heists, I think would be very
Oh, you can do
interesting.
that here in Memphis.
Oh yeah,
This is the logistics capital of the world, man.
Nike
and
truck.
they just jumped the train 3 days ago.
Basically, if I could follow someone as they're doing a bank job, I would love that. Pickpockets, I probably have to go overseas for that. Basically, the deeper into the criminal underworld we can go, I'm very excited to check that out.
You know,
if I can be in a van as illegal immigrants are being smuggled over the border. Although the reason we've had opportunities to do stuff like that, but these are people that are paying $10,000, $15,000 to make it over, and their families, a lot of them are working really tough jobs to save up that money to get them there. I don't want to be the thing that gets them noticed. So I'll interview them as they get to the safe house, or maybe we'll put a GoPro that one of the drivers can film some of that stuff. But we want to talk about the promise of America. There's a lot of people that they will risk their life to come here because they believe that their life will change once they get here. And you talk to Venezuelans, you talk to people from all over Latin America, they view this as the promised land. And so I think it's a whole other angle to look at America, because I think as of recently, America's gotten a lot of bad press. I still think if you travel the world and you see what's going on, that America is a remarkable
That's true.
place.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
It's a
we
place
do take
where
it for
a
granted.
former bank robber can be a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur. It's a place where it doesn't matter what your record is. If you make the right moves, I truly believe
can be
anyone
the
can make it
president.
happen.
You
can.
Yeah, what you mean?
Like 30
Yeah.
felons.
You know, and that's very true. And it's interesting that you say that, come from the perspective of somebody in Venezuela or some of these other countries, it almost becomes a spiritual mission, reaching the promised land, right, for opportunity, land of milk and honey, quote unquote,
It is biblical.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that if you could just get them, there's people on the other side of the border in Mexico that they walk the bridge every single day to go work at a Wendy's or McDonald's, and they are the staple of their family, and they view that as such an opportunity, because you're talking about places where there's not even fridges in the houses, or there's things are like the bare necessities. So I think it is all a matter of perspective, and that to me is encouraging to see, because I've seen entrepreneurs of all sorts, all backgrounds, all stories that make it happen here, and I do still believe in the promise of America 100%.
Yeah, you know, interesting. Yeah, and you know, I've done a lot of travel too, global travel too, and I've seen that abject poverty. You know, hell, you can go to East Tennessee and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't
real-
have Section 8 in Mexico.
Right, right.
Like there are still places that even in the trenches of the trenches, there's bullet holes in the siding. But you go inside the house and it's a pretty nice place compared to what other people are living like.
Jamaica, you build room by room. They have living a room, build a next room like that. It's the
Yeah, I think we're about to run out of time. But let me ask you this though: where is or who, what group would you never ever consider going back to interview?
One thing that's on our maybe list is the cartel, different cartels in Mexico. Because once you touch that territory, it just gets really dangerous. It's a whole nother ball game. I mean, there's street gangs in America, but the cartel is a whole nother animal. It's like, you know, from Harry Potter, Lord Voldemort, you're afraid to say the name. Like, that's almost one that you're afraid to even talk about or do anything with because it's that scary. So we'll see. The Taliban, we were interested in interviewing them as well.
That would be incredible.
That'd be
wow.
cool.
That would be incredible.
Believe it or not, Afghanistan is actually the safest it's ever been. There are people all around the world traveling there and doing tourism. Women, solo travelers. It doesn't sound real, but it is. Like there's a WhatsApp group chat that I'm in that people are traveling to Afghanistan right now.
And you know, and a lot of people don't realize. You know, I go out of the country every single year for New Year's, right? Because I have to decompress from America.
And reset and focus.
Reset,
and kinda
yes.
Make your mission board for
Yes,
the year.
yes,
100%.
indeed, yes, indeed. And remember Honduras used to be, it's dangerous. You know, this, that. And I go, man. I try my best to get to all of them spots, especially the ones that are off the beaten path that everybody is not burning up. So, but when I went to Honduras, it's at the top of my trip list because I loved Honduras.
Did you get your Honduras woman while you was there?
I didn't get a Honduras woman while I was there, but you know,
Did
but
you
they
fly
look just
something-
like
did
you.
you fly something out?
No, I didn't. Nobody got flued
Okay,
out.
that's all
But
right,
me.
just had
You know,
enough.
and I don't do that because I need some alone time, right? But the Honduran women look just like you.
And that's crazy because my because my restaurant
Oh,
it was a
one thing-
Honduras
one thing I'm sure he
restaurant.
gonna plug his
It was a
business.
Honduras
Here it is. You gonna get that shameless
Eat
plug.
all the time. No, it's
Yeah.
hip
You're a
hop
crafty
lounge.
man. You know that?
Right. Hey, so look, Tommy G, tell our viewers, man, how they can find you, you know, and how they can support.
If you want to see some of the wildest documentaries on earth, go to Tommy G on YouTube, and there's a treasure trove of different subjects from billionaires to dealers to smugglers to you name it. We try and get inside access to interesting lifestyles, one-of-one characters, and we'd love for you to check it out.
Man, you are absolutely amazing,
You're
man.
so
We thank
dope.
God for you. Y'all give it up for Tommy G. Tommy G
Appreciate
in the
it.
building. Yeah. So look, y'all, make sure you lock in. This has been a special. You know, we normally live and shoot on Fridays, but Tommy G was in the building, so we want to make sure we got him. You know, and thank you again for joining
Appreciate
us on
you
the
guys for
Antonio
having me.
Parkinson Project. No, we truly appreciate you, man. And you know, we pray for your safety. You know,
Thank
and
you.
keep on
Yes.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah, keep
Okay,
doing what you're
y'all
doing.
make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.
Don't end it, right?
Don't end it. Yeah. Let's get a drop from you real quick. We're gonna keep on going, and you can just step right there where you are, look into this camera. You know, do a Tommy G style, right? You're watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy G, independent documentary filmmaker, and today you're on the Antonio Parkinson Project. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, give me two more.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy G, independent filmmaker, and today I'm on the Antonio Parkinson Project. Tune in, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy G, independent documentary filmmaker, and today you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Go on and plug your stuff. Did you want to put your plug in, right?
If you want to check out my documentaries, head to Tommy G on YouTube, and we got all sorts of things from the most wanted car thief in America to fentanyl dealers to pimps. We are the true connoisseurs of the underworld. Tune in.
Anything else you want to say?
Read books. Have fun. Get a wife.
Hey, man,
Peace.
Yeah, tell 'em again, get a
There's
wife.
Team over there, man, your fam over there. Tell them come in and get in the shop real quick. Oh, let's get a picture real quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
calling my nephew back too.
All right, come on, y'all. Where Coach Jake at?
Okay, Tom, what's your mom?
We're gonna get one with him first, then we'll bring everybody in. Okay, y'all stay.
Let's get Mr. Carter, you want to take a photograph for us? Or actually, can I have my phone for you? Come on, fella.
We take our last photo.
Need some on this side?
Yeah, I was on the scooter.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
on the ground.
Come on this side.
Everybody.
Come over here.
Oh, this one.
Shout out to my
You
folks
come
out
over here.
there.
I ain't gonna bite you. Come on. Okay, Thomas, you can have my name. Yeah, if you don't want to
Are you the wrestler?
Yeah.
Damn, Iowa Central's a good place to be going, man.
Oh yeah, that's it.
What weight class? You
He's
Damn, so you're strong as hell, huh? How's the season? You guys are in preseason or actually in the season right
Go
now?
ahead and end it and just start this. Oh, wait.
Dude, best sport in the world.